Colonial hijack, shouldn't I?
Yeah, may as well. All right then.
What was that? Oh, never mind.
Okay, I'm gonna start recording.
I too
All
shall
right.
start recording.
Sounds good.
On a scale of 1 to recording.
Disney's Magical World. What the?
Oh, let me tell you about Disney's Magical World.
Whoa. What's happening here? What's going on? All right, should we do a ceremonial clap?
You're the producer.
Clap.
I think we should. All right. 3, 2, 1. That was
take.
excellent.
One
That could not be
take.
better. Yep.
Very,
One take.
very
That's
good.
what happens when you
One
get three
take.
professionals like us.
True.
Mhm.
Semi.
Kevin
Hello, and welcome to
Larrabee.
episode
we're gonna speak with
412 of the. You want me to redo that? Is that what you were talking over me?
You always start without warning. That's what gets me.
No foreplay.
Yeah.
Yeah? You got a
Don't
problem with
you
that?
ride.
Just give me a quick tweak of the nips first, and then go.
Jeez. Gotta get them excited first. Otherwise, it just hurts for everybody.
Mhm.
Yikes. You done?
You tweaking?
Never even got started.
Hello and welcome to episode 412 of the Player One podcast for Monday, September 29th, 2014. I'm your host, Chris Johnston. With me this week is a man from Canada who enjoyed his Disney vacation so much that he had to extend it by playing Disney-related games, Mr. Greg Seward.
Yeah, I'm looking for Adventures in Magical Kingdom next.
I don't even know which one of those is worse. The
I
actual trip
love
to
it.
Disney or Disney games.
Disney was great. You gotta stop hating on Disney so much.
Mm. Your kids are still
Yeah.
young enough that it's fun.
Exactly.
There you go. There you go.
Yep.
And joining us from the great state of Utah is an embittered old man, Mr. Mike Phillips.
You didn't even write that. That was just stream of consciousness.
That's right.
Just kind of writes itself, really.
Yeah.
There it goes.
I'm neither embittered nor old in relative terms.
Relative
True.
to what?
Oh.
Us?
Relative to septuagenarians.
Yeah.
Actually, just to septuagenarians because
Cranky.
they're embittered too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So not
Oh,
with
yeah,
us this week
sunshine.
is Mr. Phil Theobald. He is off watching a toddler
Not even his own.
solo.
No.
Yeah.
He's at the park. It's real creepy.
So, and as I was sort of trying to prep for this week, I went
As
back
you always
and
do.
looked, as I
So
try.
meticulously.
We'll
as
give
a
you that.
podcast host often does, I went
Yes.
back to look at the week in headlines just to see, what we should talk about this week. And I came to the realization that nothing happened in console games over the last 7 days. Absolutely nothing.
That's sad.
The biggest happening was Loot Cave in Destiny got shut down, and they found another one. So Loot Cave 2.0 was christened. Yeah, that's the biggest news of the week.
Sad.
If I were Bungie, and I'm not,
And you're not.
let's be clear,
Yeah.
I would open something called the Loot Cave, and when you go in there, it's just a little elf playing a lute. I think that would be pretty awesome. That's what they should do.
Yeah.
I like it.
Well, that would probably to do that quickly. It would probably involve 14 artists, a team
Yeah,
of 20.
I mean that's triple the content that currently exists in Destiny, so they probably can't do that.
Oh
Wow.
Are you a Destiny hater, Mike?
I'm Destiny agnostic.
Yeah.
I like the demo, or did we call that a demo or a beta?
No, it was a beta. Come
a
on,
beta.
man.
Okay. Well, I like that well enough, but I actually heard that game compared to Too Human this week in terms of the amount of content and the way it feels to play that game. Or is that why you like Destiny, CJ?
No, I don't think I would make that comparison. No.
Well, I didn't say that you did. Okay.
It does not feel like Too Human to me at all, except perhaps in the story bits being completely superfluous.
The epic storytelling.
Kind of ridiculous. Seriously, like Peter Dinklage, every time you go to like a new mission, he expounds about how large the environment that you're in is, like almost every time. The caves underground stretch for miles, and you can
what could be happening under our feet?
And my house is 500 miles away. Like things like that.
I can see my house from here.
Like it's just it gets kind of ridiculous. And
just
I was playing
to counteract
with
the negative press. That's smart.
I was playing with Mr. Greg Seward this week, and Hakarelius Kurichan from our forums, and
he's Australian, you know.
He is Australian. Yes.
My point there is don't turn your back on him.
No. It was a penal colony after all.
Exactly. Watch his penal.
Yeah, watch those penals.
And we were commenting, you know, how every mission is basically this, or how repetitive a lot of the battles are, where you get to the checkpoint, find the thing that you're searching for, or whatever. Your little ghost has to, you know, do something that takes a little while, and you have to defend the area. You know, that's basically every Destiny mission. Is get to the little checkpoint, defend for X number of minutes, and get some loot, and you're done.
I got to tell you, and I know I feel bad about this for Mike. I know he's not going to be happy about this, but
oh, good. I can live up to my embittered.
Yeah, you
status.
Read the latest Penny Arcade. They actually got it pretty spot on.
Yeah.
Destiny. Yeah.
You want to describe it?
Yeah.
It's only 3 panels.
Yeah. Just basically, it was about the loot cave, and the main panel is the guy peeking in and say, "Bad news! Players are having fun in Destiny." And it just kind of writes itself from there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why they shut it down.
And then that's exactly what it's about.
It. So you accuse me of being a Destiny hater, CJ, and you guys sound like Destiny haters.
Well, to go back on what I said before, it's again kind of like Too Human in that I'm having fun with it despite its many failings.
Okay.
And you know that comes down to the combat, which I find very good, and a lot of it is, you know, playing with people like Stewie and Kurichan, where it's just, you know, fun to screw around in this open environment and do some missions.
Yeah.
You know,
I can see that.
I really don't care about the story of Destiny. I never cared about Halo's story. So.
You better, because you have 10 years of it coming.
Yep.
Yeah, I don't know how they're gonna squeeze 10 years out of that, but
that's a lot of Dinklage.
For them to come up with some other mission types other than just defend this outpost for 5 minutes. While we're going to throw enemies at you until then.
They only had 5-ish years to come up with that, so I think that explains why.
Yeah.
There's only so much you can do in 5 years with $500 million.
True. I mean, there are no escort missions, at least? I mean, come on, when you're talking about video game tropes...
That's a good point.
There's not even one escort mission? What the hell is this?
Why is there not an homage to Halo 1's library? That's what I want to know.
Exactly.
Yeah, I love the library.
Or, you know, they've got these really cool vehicles. They're like speeder bikes. Those are really awesome. And some of them that you get from the enemies actually fire lasers and shit.
Lasers.
And shit.
Don't
forget that part.
Yet there are no missions where you really have to use them for anything of worth. Like normally, when you hop on one of those bikes, it's to go through some trench that's about 500 meters long. You just kind of go through it and get to
How do
the
you do
other
that, CJ?
side, like this.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh.
And then that's it. Like, there's really no point for those to be
Well, it
around.
just seems, and I'm speaking from a standpoint of abject ignorance, as I
usual.
often do.
Hmm.
But it seems like there are lots of things like that. Like, you have a ship.
Sure.
Why do you have a ship?
So that you have something to spend money on.
Something to
But
spend
do
money
you?
on
I mean,
and look at during load screen.
exactly. It's like
Are
the
excessive in
USS
this game,
loading
too.
screen, and that's it. It just sits there.
Did you just say the USS
pointless.
loading screen?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's its name.
And the loading screens aren't even as interesting to look at as like Ratchet and Clank when they did their whole spaceship
Right.
flying loading screen. It at least had some transitions there. This just has nothing. You're just staring at the back end of your spaceship.
Staring at the ass end of your spaceship.
Would you prefer the HMS Hourglass? Would that be better?
No, I like the first one a lot.
You like USS loading screen? Okay. It's a little
Although-
too direct. I kind of like the HMS Hourglass.
I like the whole nod to the Commonwealth you just did there, but
Of course.
speaking as a colony, I appreciate that.
There's a nod to you.
Thank you.
Well, I'm not in a hurry to pick up Destiny after listening to people talk about it.
No, I might play probably through to whatever the end of the story mode is, as it is,
Yeah.
and then I'll probably get rid of it while it's still worth something.
Yeah. The
Really?
more I hear people talk about Destiny, the more I think, good job coming out in September, dudes. That was effing brilliant.
Yeah. Before the Avalanche,
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yep.
which has officially started.
What was the game that commenced the Avalanche?
It wasn't the game so much as the fact that I got 3 shipping notices in the same day.
Oh, God. So that's
No.
this week, right?
Yeah. Yeah, so that's
Shadow of Mordor
yes, which looks fantastic.
and
That
Forza
does.
Horizon.
Yes.
And I don't
And
know
I'm
what the
ashamed of the
third one
last
is.
one.
Go
I
ahead.
know what it is.
So ashamed of the last one.
I
Well,
know
CJ
what
can
it
talk
is.
about it later in this episode.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Hyrule Warriors.
You should talk about
I don't
it
feel
now.
good about
Make Phil jealous.
You
But
want,
I'm
me,
gonna
you
own
want
it.
me to talk about it now? I will.
Why do you not feel good about it, Greg?
Because I hate Dynasty Warriors games. I hate them.
Why
You
did you
are-
buy it, Greg?
I don't know.
You hate Dynasty Warriors games, or you just haven't played one in a while? Which one was
Because
the last
the
time you played one?
innovations that they've made in that game
Yeah, sure.
are myriad and
I
legendary.
have not played a Dynasty Warriors, like a full Dynasty Warriors game since the PS2 era, and I forget which number it was, but I reviewed it for EGM.
I think see, I played 99 Nights, but I guess that's not really Dynasty Warriors game. Same type of game.
No.
But I don't remember the last one I played. I think the last one I played was the Gundam one.
Okay. And what did you think of it?
It was awful.
Well, then this doesn't bode well at all. Yeah.
I did not know that you were a fan of these games, CJ.
Well, I haven't. No. I'm not.
I actually don't know what
Here's
that
where the
means.
justification starts.
No,
I already said that
I'm not a
proud
fan
I'm
of
just
these
gonna
games,
justify
or
it.
no, I am a fan of these games, or no, I haven't played one of these games, despite the fact that I just quizzed Greg on when the last time was he played one of these games.
I have not played one for so long, and I'm not a fan. I haven't followed them really, or bought any of the games. You know, the last thing that I played that was similar is One Piece Pirate Warriors, and the only reason I bought that was because it was $5 on PSN. But I do really enjoy the Zelda series a lot. I'm a
Okay.
fan of that. So, Hyrule Warriors is an interesting mix of the two. One Piece actually, it's interesting. They have a lot of levels that are not Musou levels, so they're just very linear sort of missions where you go around beating people up and triggering QuickTime events. Whereas this game, every single level so far, anyway, has been a Musou level where it's a large battlefield, and you have an end goal, but various things happen on your way to that end goal, and you have to deal with enemy troops taking over your keeps.
How many troops?
And 1 million troops.
Always makes me smile.
And I'm finding it to be a lot of fun. It is extremely repetitive, of course.
Of course.
just
But
like Destiny.
exactly like Destiny. But
So you found your new genre, your new subgenre, repetitive.
Yes. Yes, I don't know. The game offers quite a bit of content aside from the regular story mode. There's an adventure mode which has sort of very quick missions built
quick
around this Zelda 1 map. So
I heard
each
about
one
this.
has
Yeah.
something you have to do very quickly, and it sort of ties in that you unlock item cards that you can then use on that space on the map. So, like in Zelda 1, there's there's a bush you can burn and reveal a staircase, or
religious.
a wall you can bomb and reveal a cave, things like that.
Staircase.
Exactly. So you you can gain those item cards and use them on the Zelda 1 map as you would in The Legend of Zelda for the NES, and get new stuff, get more loot, and then use it to level up the characters, level up the weapons, and get more powerful for story mode. So I'm enjoying it quite a bit. I'm probably six or seven missions into the story mode.
How long is the story mode? Do you know?
I don't know.
Okay.
How many different characters can you actually play as?
I am not sure, but I have
Link, Zelda 2 Link, Zelda
I have
Link
five-
Past Link,
I have
That's
5
what I'm
characters
wondering.
unlocked at this point, I think. I have
Skyward Sword Link.
Link, Impa, Sheik, Fi, and Lana.
Lana?
I don't know who
A
any
new
of those people
character.
are.
Lana is a new character
Oh.
created just
Is she
for
canon, though?
Hyrule Warriors. No.
No? Oh, well, then I don't care.
No, but I'm having a ton of fun with the game, and I think it looks great. I know a lot of people are bagging on the fact that it doesn't hold a 60 frames per second rate or whatever, or it drops.
That's
I really don't
always,
care about
that's the benchmark for me.
That-
the game isn't
that
60
has-
frames per second.
Right, exactly. That has never been something that I've
Yeah.
cared a whole lot about. So I'm having fun with it, and it sort of has. So the adventure mode has online connectivity in that, in sort of the same way that what was that? Oh God, I'm forgetting the name.
Grind right to a
Tetris?
complete halt.
Was it? Are you thinking of Tetris?
Thinking of Mario's Picross. It's a lot
Oh.
like that.
Man, I was actually I was
I
closer
don't
than I
even-
thought.
How? Explain yourself.
No, that's not what I meant. It's so Bravely Default, which I don't think either of you played, right?
Bravely Default?
I played the demo.
About 6 or
You
7
did?
hours of that.
Okay, so you know the the sort of pseudo online thing that has going on where you're rebuilding the town?
Yes.
It sort of has a similar thing going on where it'll pull people in from your friends list and put them on your adventure mode map. And
Okay.
you have to save them in the mission in order to you'll gain more loot basically if you do that,
Okay.
if you help them. So that's
Interesting.
kind of cool too. But yeah, I'm having fun with it.
So is it
I-
Purdy?
It's what?
Is it Purdy?
It's super purdy.
Really?
You should look at the screenshots today, but
No, I don't want to spoil it.
it's good. You're a Zelda fan, right?
Oh yeah, I'm
Right,
big.
Greg?
Big.
All right.
I like Skyward Sword.
Well, then maybe you'll like this. Maybe.
Okay.
Anyway,
Fan
that's
service.
Hyrule Warriors.
I'll be playing it next week.
Well, I'm sure Phil will want to talk about it as well.
I might not be here
I'm
next
sure. Yeah. All right. What else do we have to talk about?
week. That was it.
Did you
That's
guys
it.
did you guys play Velocity 2X? at all?
Weren't we talking about it
Very
last
little
week?
bit.
I don't know. I mean, I talked about it when I was first playing it and said that it kind of bugged me that it took so long for it to kind of pick up steam.
Yes, I remember that.
Yeah. So I've been kind of buzzing through it and really enjoying it now that you have all the powers and things are a little bit more interesting. But now I've hit a spot where I actually totally hate the game because I didn't even realize, and I didn't realize because it was completely irrelevant throughout the entirety of the game until you get to about level 40. But as you're playing, you're getting experience points for how many of those people that you rescue, how many crystals you gather, and how many points you score, and how quickly you do a level. And it gives you experience points for those. You reach a certain point where, in order to unlock the next level, you need a certain amount of experience points. And I'm short by like 20 or 30 points, and so the only option is to go back to levels you've already played and try to do them faster, or collect more gems, or save more.
Well, there's another option
that.
there.
There
There's
is
one other
no
option there.
reason in the world for that to be in this game at all.
The other
I know
option
what
you
the other
have
option
there is that little off button at the top of the PS Vita.
That's the
thought you
one
meant-
that I've selected.
I thought you meant give it to your daughters and have them do it
No,
for you.
no. I can do it. It just means that you have to go back to those early levels that sucked ass and replay them over and over to gather more experience points. And there is no... The game has like 50 levels. It doesn't need to be artificially elongated by doing something stupid like that.
I always think about being artificially elongated.
Really pisses me off. Really? You want to be artificially elongated? That reminds
I
me.
want to as I think about it.
If you are a
Sounds
human who subscribes to Netflix, there is a documentary on there called Unhung Hero.
Yes, I've seen it.
Yeah.
Have
That
you
is one of
watched
the
that
most
shit?
uncomfortable scenes.
Oh my god.
That you know the scene I'm talking about. I just
Yes.
I cringed.
Yes.
I was almost in tears, and it wasn't because I was laughing at him. I was just like, no, don't, no.
I thought that movie was delightful, and I think
was
everybody should watch it.
Yeah.
It's pretty good.
The best part is that I don't know if you did, but I totally remembered the scene that set up
Yes.
the documentary.
Absolutely, yeah.
seeing
So
that
this is a
video
guy
on
who, at UCLA, proposed to his girlfriend very publicly, and it was on
Very
YouTube, and
publicly.
she basically ran away, like scampered off from him, left him hanging, and that YouTube video got a Brazilian hits and became wildly popular. And the revelation that he provides in this documentary is the reason that she said no, she said she would not marry him, is because his penis is too small. And so he goes on his journey to find
It's a
out
great
what,
documentary.
if anything, can be done about that. And it
Yep.
is fucking fantastic.
Yeah. And it takes him to some very scary situations.
Yes. I have to say my favorite scene in the whole thing, though, is when he meets with Dan Savage, because I already like Dan Savage. I
Yeah.
think Dan Savage is really funny and smart, but he was also incredibly insightful and sweet in that scene, and I thought that was the highlight of the whole movie for me. But you should watch it.
It is
It's
totally worth watching. I agree, 100%.
All right.
good. Now that we've been artificially elongated,
Yes.
Velocity 2X, there's no excuse for that bullshit. That bullshit is bullshit.
Mhm.
It really
What
pisses me
kind
off.
of shit is it?
It's bullshit, Greg.
Okay.
It's bullshit.
All right, just clearing it up for the listeners.
Yep.
Yeah.
I had someone on Twitter recommended an iOS game to me.
Okay.
I think I told you guys previously that my most frequently played iOS game is the USA Today crossword puzzle,
Yes.
Yes.
which is still accurate. But this person, Hacker Alias Lights and Colors, on Twitter recommended a game called Bonza, B-O-N-Z-A. Have you heard of this game?
No.
No.
It sort of touts itself as the next generation of crosswords, and what happens is you get these little fragments of a crossword puzzle that have basically been filled in already. Like, imagine a crossword puzzle that's already been solved, but now it's broken apart into pieces, and all of the answers relate to a specific category of clue, and so you basically have to reconstruct the crossword puzzle with these pieces in order to make all of the answers relate to the topic of the puzzle.
That's interesting.
It's pretty cool.
I like that.
So, and some of the pieces are big chunks of 10 letters. Some of them are a single letter, and so you have to figure out where they all intersect and how the words intersect, and make sure that they all, again, relate to the clue of the puzzle. And it's really fun. It's 99 cents and has a whole lot of puzzles in it to begin with, and then obviously more that you can purchase if you are
Of
so
course.
inclined. But there's a daily puzzle too that you can just play once every day if you want to keep doing that for free. And I'm
Downloading.
a pretty big fan. He recommended it earlier today, and I've been playing it all goddamn day. So thanks very much for that.
Because all
Nice.
I've really been playing on my iPhone is the Castle Doombad game, so I need something.
Oh yeah.
Something a little more cerebral.
I'll have
Something a
something
little
new
more
for you later this week.
Really?
Oh, really?
Oh.
Yeah. But I can't say anything about that right now.
Castle Doombad 2, Doom Batter.
No.
Doom Batter, by the way, sounds like the villain's ejaculate. I'm going to hit you in the face with my Doom Batter. I don't know.
Yikes.
Did you get? None of you guys picked up Murasaki Baby on the Vita?
No.
You know
No
who else-
interest?
You know what else we didn't pick up and no one picked up? D4
What?
on the Xbox One.
Oh yeah. Apparently,
what?
less than 10,000 have been purchased.
No one
worldwide.
knew it was coming.
Did you say Thief 4?
No, D4.
Oh.
If you remember, back when the one was introduced, they actually mentioned D4. They showed
Yeah.
some footage.
As a Kinect title, right?
Was it? I don't know if it was. Either
I'm
way,
pretty sure it was the big
um,
Kinect title.
it was released last week, week before.
Last week.
Like by surprise.
How was it?
It wasn't. It didn't even come out the day that Xbox One games get released. Like, I don't know. I didn't buy it.
It just
It
got
was a
pushed
surprise
out.
release bundled with a Saturn.
Yeah, pretty much. To the point that
And-
is Swery who did that game
Yeah.
Yep.
went on Twitter and basically said like, yeah, it's not selling as well as it should.
Yeah,
Sure.
well, did you say fewer than 10,000?
Fewer than 10,000 worldwide.
Yeah, that's probably not what it should.
No.
I'm going to agree with Swery on that.
Yeah.
That probably he thought maybe more
Who-
than 10,000.
Did you either of you play Deadly Premonition?
No.
Yes, I did.
Yeah.
Yep.
How was it that game?
I fucking hated it. It was a horrible piece of shit
Why do people love that game?
There's-
because it's
there's
a horrible
this-
piece of shit.
Yeah, there's this thing with the games that Swery has done where they're horrible games, like, but he has gotten this reputation for making steaming piles that people seem to attach some kind of extra
Right.
special significance to.
Right.
Just,
else
I
has
really
he
don't
done?
get it. I've never understood
Yeah.
the popularity of that guy's games.
You should try Deadly Premonition just to see because oh baby.
So
I
Shane's
do have a
got
copy of it
some-
because it was so cheap on Amazon that I did order a copy, so I have it, but I've not played it.
Hmm.
But
Yeah, it is a triumph in shittiness. People like to. Oh, it's like Twin Peaks.
yeah, people compare.
It's weird and quirky like
compare it
Twin
to-
Peaks. If Twin Peaks were written by illiterate people, yes, exactly.
How
No,
could they? But how could they
It's
write
really
it if they're
bad.
illiterate?
Those to
See?
me those
see where I'm going with that?
No, I get it.
the Swery's games harken back to an era of Japanese video games like Blue Stinger or something like where they were
Blue
trying
Stinger.
trying their damnedest to do like interesting cerebral sci-fi and just failing at every turn. So
Man.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, that's not to say that there aren't interesting ideas in it. It's just so horribly
Sure.
executed that it doesn't matter.
sure.
Yeah.
And Microsoft is Microsoft publishing D4? It
Yeah, they
really just got like
Yeah.
dumped out the window.
It did. It came out of nowhere. There was absolutely no marketing for it.
The thing that's
seen for it is Swery tweeting that it's out.
The thing that's slightly distressing to me about that is that you've got Xbox One and trying to create the indies label there, trying to get developers on board there, and then you have a game that you basically just shit out like that is sort of distressing.
Well, it sounds to me like, and I don't have a whole lot of insight into this, obviously, but it seems to me like there's been a big transition over at Microsoft over the last
Mhm.
year or so, and
Yeah.
it sounds like somebody's pet project that
Oh,
that person either has no power anymore or that person isn't there anymore.
That's true.
But the money's been spent. Let's get it out there, see if we can get some back, but we're not spending another cent on this thing.
Right. And maybe Microsoft knows that it's bad and is just
Well, yeah, or whoever.
let's,
like I said,
let's
whoever
not hype up a
charges
piece
on it.
of let's not hype this turd up more than it is necessary, right?
We're out of
Let's-
turd polish.
Let's dump it out in September when there's plenty of other things for people to be playing that are better. That's better than this, right?
I do want to try it, but I'm not paying.
Of course
what is
you
it,
do.
$15. I'm not paying $15 for it.
Do you
Hopefully,
still have your Kinect hooked up?
games with gold. Yeah, I have my Kinect hook up. You
I do
kidding me?
too.
I
thing
control
is
my
great.
television from the future.
Hmm.
I love the Kinect, the new Kinect. I like it for
my
the
parents are
the
a
whole
little better.
logging in thing. You can log in with your. It just logs you in when you're sitting in
Face.
front of the TV. Yeah, exactly.
Face
Let's see your
in.
face. That's right.
Hey, I see
And,
Chris's face.
Dance Central Spotlight is pretty good. I
See,
like
there we go. And now we get to the crux.
Yeah.
All right.
So, hey, let's talk about Disney Infinity.
Disney Infinity. Infinity?
Yeah. You interested in that at all?
No,
I-
not in the least.
I find it,
Gotta
they're really like building the whole thing around the Marvel characters, huh?
That's one of the reasons I'm not interested.
Yeah. Like basically all the new stuff is, well, you better be a prepubescent boy
Well,
and
it's
into
basically-
superheroes.
The toy, the what are they called? Not toy boxes, but play sets are the
Yeah.
Avengers, Guardians of the Galaxy,
Yep.
and Spider-Man, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And then, but the thing is, and this is what bugged. Well, there were a lot of things that bugged me about the previous game. One of the things that really irritated me was that you can't cross over into other worlds with characters. So if you're playing the Disney Infinity playset, or Infinity,
Mhm.
the Incredibles playset,
Mm-hmm.
can't take your Fantasia Mickey character into that playset. You can only you could only use the players that would only cross over in the toy box mode,
Right.
which was a little bit too hard to use. And on top of that,
Mm.
then they released a bunch of characters that could only be used in the toy box.
Yeah.
So if you
They're doing
hadn't-
that again.
yeah, exactly. If you hadn't created anything interesting in Toy Box, you weren't interested in doing that, then you were buying a bunch of $13 characters for
Yeah.
absolutely no reason. And that's what this entire game is built around, because if you're not getting the Marvel characters, and there's some cool Disney-only characters, like there's a lot of them coming out, and there's some
Yeah.
stuff that I would love to have in a
Stitch
game.
and Aladdin and Jasmine.
Yeah,
I
and
love Stitch.
Maleficent and Donald Duck, and
Yeah.
like there's just a ton of characters coming out. And in the previous game there was too. Like there's the Phineas and Ferb characters, and
Yep.
like that Fantasia, Mickey Mouse, and
Did they do anything interesting with the Frozen
Ralph.
characters?
no, they
the
didn't
first
even
one?
have their own playset. That's what I
Right.
mean. Like they just it's
That's ridiculous.
$13 a character. Like it's just
Mm-hmm.
it's a pain in the ass. So and then of course the old characters work in the new game, but there aren't updates to the old play sets at all. And the
Right.
new characters don't work in the old game, obviously. So it's just I'm not interested. It's just another
Mm.
big money grab. I know those games are always money grabs, but they
Yeah.
were so transparent about it in Disney Infinity that it just turned me off.
Yeah. Well, all right. How many Amiibo figures are you gonna buy?
All of them.
Every last
No, I'm not
one.
buying any Amiibo figures.
No?
Until they come out and say what they're doing with them, that's a little less vague than you can use it in 5 different games.
Right. So are you getting Smash Brothers 3DS then this week?
Yes.
You are. Did you
Yes.
already pre-ordered it? Didn't
Yes.
Yeah.
Come on.
you?
Who are you talking to?
Yeah. You gonna play it in between rounds of Forza?
I dare say.
How are
I
you
won't
gonna play all?
anything
How are you gonna play all the games?
I'm
that you're
quitting my job.
getting? By the way.
It's a good policy.
else. Yeah.
I like that. The games are all pre-ordered anyway. It doesn't matter. They're gonna.
Yeah, I mean,
they're
you
just
know,
gonna keep coming.
They're already
You
on the
quit your
credit
job.
card. There's nothing I can do about that at this point.
Yep.
That's right. Did I tell you I took off Thursday and Friday in part to play video games and have a little staycation. I went and saw Guardians of the Galaxy,
You hadn't seen that yet?
which I had not seen,
Wow.
oddly enough,
What'd you
and
think of
went on, at 12:45 on a Thursday. Had the entire theater to myself,
Wow.
which is fantastic. It was great, and then spent Friday playing Hyrule Warriors and Destiny.
What a waste of
It's
vacation.
every young man's dream.
That's right.
Couldn't wait till something good came out.
What? Hyrule? Oh. But Hyrule Warriors is good.
Yeah.
Especially after you've been playing it all day. I'm sure it got to be about 6
man.
p.m. and you thought,
That must be great.
if only this day were longer.
Well, I took a break. Come on, I'm not gonna.
I'm sure
play
you
it
got a
straight
potty.
through. That's right.
That makes sense.
Yeah, that off TV
Adrian
play I
came
can
home.
play from the bathroom.
40 empty cans of Coke Zero strewn across the living room floor.
You know me too well.
Charlotte playing in them.
Well,
Hmm.
did you want to talk about Theatrhythm?
Yeah, so I got
Since you got that.
Theatrhythm Curtain Call. That's actually
How
what
is
I
that
got
different
from
than the previous game?
There's just a load
which I
more
played?
content.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Because that was the beef with the original game. Was
Yeah, and I have not gone back to double check that, but I seem to remember that as well. I really liked what the original game did, but
thought
there
it was
wasn't
fun.
much to it, right?
Yeah.
So with Curtain Call, which if anyone who never played Theatrhythm, the first one, it's a Final Fantasy game. It's basically they took a bunch of the music from all the Final Fantasies, and then you played just a rhythm game. There's a little bit of depth to it where you have to put together parties of different characters from different games, and there's items and stuff you can use, but generally it's just a rhythm game.
Yeah.
So with this one, it's just a ton more content, a lot more characters, and different game modes. So you have like the play the single song mode, but then there are quests as well. So you get like a little mini map that you move from one spot to another, and you do like a different song challenge in each one, and you'll get like key items and stuff like that to open different parts of the map, and you'll fight bosses and all that sort of thing, which unlocks more stuff in the main menu. And then there's also a versus mode, which I can't remember if the first game had or not, but you can play versus
I don't remember.
Steam or versus online. So, but the sheer number, like, it's funny because a lot of stuff is locked when you first get it, and when I first turned it on, I think my choices were like Final Fantasy 3, Final Fantasy 5, and maybe 8 or 9, and that was it. Those were the games they showed. I'm like, what the hell's going on? But then after I've completed like 2 songs, you'll hear that I have it on right now, the amount of games in here is ridiculous. So it goes all the way through all the main ones, the main Final Fantasies, including 11 and 14. And then it has Lightning Returns, 13.2, Type 0,
Wow.
Dissidia 2, Crisis Core, Advent Children the movie, Crystal Chronicles, X2, Tactics, Mystic Quest.
I don't get to hear you say the word or the non-word duodecim.
I did not say that, no.
Damn it.
So there's just a ton of content in it, so I'm really digging it. This is what the first game should have been, basically. So, and the reason I got this was because we were speaking about this before the show. I am going to bring it up. I returned NHL 15 because it was awful. And I think the straw for me, there was all that missing content, or all those missing features, and then there were some great videos going around. Well, I mean, the penalty calling was terrible in it. The new commentary is so bad. And then there's some great videos going around about all the bugs, like especially scoring bugs, where the puck will go into the net and they won't call it a goal, and the puck will bounce behind the net and they call that a goal, or to go through the back of the net, or it's bug-ridden.
Wow.
But then on top of all that, the same day that it was kind of, for me, was all building, it's like, do I really want to keep this? I'm not really enjoying it. It's obviously full of bugs. I've seen a few of them myself. And then the announcement came out that their first round of free DLC was coming. That was how it was named. Free DLC coming from EA for NHL 15, which included such amazing new features like 3 stars at the end of the game. The ability to do a rookie draft, I think, was one of them. Anyway, it was stuff that was in the old
Basics. Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
So it wasn't free DLC, it was a patch. And it was pretty much at that point they said, you know what? I paid $40 for this. I checked, and the value of it on trade-in at Best Buy was $35. So I was like,
It's a nice rental.
yep, I'll take the $5 hit. And I traded it in, and Final Fantasy was sitting there. It's like, I'll take that, sure. I think I paid $5 for it. So bye bye NHL. They screwed the pooch on that so bad.
That's sad. That's your game.
That is my game. I hope to God they make one next year, and I hope it's good. But this year I'm done.
I mean, they took an extra year to make that one. What are the odds that next year's is going to be awesome?
I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, they're obviously continuing development because these free DLC patches will probably fix a lot of stuff. But I'm not playtesting for them in the meantime.
They got the absolute hell kicked out of them on reviews too, which is kind of nice
to see. And they deserved it.
Yeah. It wasn't just a show up and get your 7.5 out of 10 kind of thing like sports games often get, which is good to see.
So I feel like I traded up.
Yeah. Good. That'll teach them.
Yeah, now they know.
Yes. So that's everything about Murasaki Baby then, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that what we were talking about originally?
We started down that road and then we got diverted. The game's pretty good. You should probably look into it, although it's $15.
What is it again?
So have you ever wanted to play a video game that was based on Tim Burton's Trapper Keeper from middle school?
Yes.
This is your game. Art style to it.
So you're saying Helena Bonham Carter is in it a lot?
That's the main character.
Main
character is Helena Bonham Carter.
Yeah,
yep.
Okay, good.
It has this really kind of rough, sketchy art style to it, and so far, at least a few levels into the game, the only controls are touch screen and back touch controls.
Oh, I can see people loving this.
No sticks, no buttons whatsoever, but it all works surprisingly well.
So it's a bad game, but a good Vita game.
Something like that, yeah. I'll have to scour the reviews to see who said that, because I'm sure somebody did.
I'm sure it's been said.
Yeah. But it is a puzzle platformer with a unique art style. I know you've never seen one of those before.
Yeah.
But it is all done using touch, so you're controlling the main character. I'm assuming the titular baby. And you grab her hand and pull it with your finger to sort of pull her along instead of using the D-pad.
Oh, that's cool.
You're actually pulling her hand, and she's holding a balloon, and you have to keep the balloon from popping. So there are times where you are touching both. You're grabbing her hand, and then you're using your other finger to control the balloon and raise it and lower it. You use the back touch to swipe between these different settings, different environments, and each of them have different functions that happen within them. So like one, you'll swipe your fingers and the whole environment turns blue, and then if you tap the back screen, a thunderstorm starts and it rains. And so in some cases, the rain will raise the water level to make a boat come up so you can jump in it, or sometimes the rain will put out a fire so you can pass across something. And then
so it's like Parenthood on an acid trip.
A little bit. Swipe again and the environment turns orange, and when you tap the back screen, a windmill starts up and it blows wind across the level. So there are different things that happen based on each of the environments, and so far it's pretty fun. It's all puzzles, but they're all not rudimentary, but they're not particularly difficult. It's been pretty fun so far, just a few levels into it. But yeah, it's another puzzle platformer with a unique art style, but it's a pretty good one. It's worth checking out.
That sounds neat. Yeah,
even though people will look at the $15 price tag and say, I'm going to wait for some PS Plus action on that.
Pretty much. That's what I'm doing with D4 as well. Games with gold, baby. Games with gold.
Oh, that'll definitely come to games with gold. It's amazing to me, I think 10 years ago, when if we're getting games for $15, that seems like a steal.
It would be ecstatic. Yep. And I was like, I'm going to wait until that's free.
Yeah, $15.
That seems like a better deal.
It's on iOS.
I don't blame people for that. When I do if it's something that I'm genuinely interested in or looks interesting or something like that, I'll just buy it, like I did with this one. It looked cool enough that I was okay with that. But often I am in that same boat where I look at something and think, not so sure. I'll just wait and see.
Yeah.
And it generally pays off,
Yes.
which
Well,
is
of course.
maybe the biggest shame of it all. Yeah.
Of course it does, because then you end up
I'm
getting
sure-
a good game for free, and you're like, well, I
Yeah.
probably would have paid $15 if I knew this
Or
was
it's
good, but I'll
terrible,
take
and
it
you
for
say,
free.
"Oh, thank God I got that for free."
Well, there's
I'm
that
sure
too.
developers are ecstatic about that
It's a
concept.
win-win.
Yeah.
Pretty
Definitely.
nice, though.
Well, it's good.
Yeah.
Should we start on some tweets?
You don't want to hear about Disney's?
I gotta
thought
hear
you just
Disney's
put-
Magical World.
I
Magical
thought you
World?
put that on here as a joke.
No, I got Disney's Magical World.
You can talk about it if you want.
In much the same way we thought you put Hyrule Warriors on as a joke. CJ.
Oh,
Oh, snap.
so because Mike was actually asking what it is. Do you really not know what it is?
I really don't know what it is unless it's
Is
the
this-
old Kinect one.
It's
Is this the
basically
3DS game?
No, it's not the Kinect one. This is the 3DS game.
It is. Okay.
The Kinect game was good.
Okay.
Okay. Disney's Magical World is on 3DS. It's basically Animal Crossing Lite,
Mhm.
but in a Disney-themed world, like Disney World. I realized how
Okay.
stupid it was going to sound when I started saying that. It's not
Like
Disney World.
in a Disney world.
Yeah, it's not Disney World, but
In a Disney land. I mean, world. No.
yeah,
Disney-esque.
it's Animal Crossing Lite. So I don't yet have my own house or anything like that. I'm not sure that even happens, but you're basically just doing a bunch of different activities with different Disney characters, but you're sort of wandering around this open world setting, and you're like creating clothing and going fishing and just stuff like that. I think there's some mini games in there later on as well. It's pretty cool. I dig it for what it is. It's a little bit too light. I think it's definitely meant more as a kid's game.
Yes.
You think Disney's Magical World is meant more as a kid's game? Did I hear that correctly?
But I mean even more so than something like Animal Crossing. I mean like young children.
Okay.
But there's a ton of things to collect and all that sort of thing, and you can create your own outfits and all that. And it's extremely linear so far, which is disappointing. But the bigger disappointment to me is actually one save file per cartridge.
Oh,
Of
that's
course.
bunk. Why would they do that?
I don't know why they would do that.
I know why.
Well, okay, I get why they would do that, but it's a terrible choice because this is actually something that I know my kids would love to play,
Yeah,
but I only have one
Yeah.
copy.
but I'm not letting them touch Daddy's cartridge. It's not
No,
like this
no.
game is more geared for children.
I'd be happy to give it to them, but I only have one copy and I only have one 3DS.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, so then the characters are based on your me. So my son's not going to want to play as his sister's me.
I see. Yeah.
And vice versa. Like,
Or as you.
not only is it not him, but it's a girl and not a boy, and the same with her. It's she doesn't want to play as a boy; she wants to play as herself.
Sure.
So it's terrible. It's terrible design to do something like that. And if they would let you have your own save file, like multiple save files, this would be, I would say, it is a wonderful game. I think they'd really enjoy it. I think young children would really enjoy it because it's got a ton of variety in it. It's linear, but it's got a ton of variety in what you can do, and it holds your hand to the point that you would never be stuck, right? Like you would never wonder what you have to do next, even like a 5-year-old or a 4-year-old. So it's a shame that they limited it to a single save file. But I like it enough that if I found like a used copy cheap, I would probably grab it so they could each have a copy.
Wow.
So yeah, just want to throw that out there because I knew Mike didn't know what it was.
I did not know what it was.
Now you do.
There you go.
And I know
I'm
you're a
very
big
pleased.
Disney World fan, so
I am. I just picked up Disney's Unhung Hero, and I'm
Really?
pretty excited to dig
That
into
was-
that.
that was in Walt's more exploratory.
It's actually, it's,
And the sequel, Big Hero 6, right? It's coming out.
And there are also Disney Infinity characters for that.
Yeah. Oh, I thought that was a sequel to Unhung Hero.
nope.
Alrighty. Should we do some tweets?
Yeah.
Think about that.
Sure.
All right. This one from Hackeralius Flame Condor. What's the most times you've bought a game, including remakes, before finishing it? Just bought Etrian Odyssey 1 for the third time. Already have the original on DS and the retail of the remake for 3DS, but it had to go on sale on the eShop for $15.
Before finishing it.
Yeah. I think I probably have a couple copies of Lunar, and I'm not sure if I've finished any of them.
CJ.
Lunar 2, certainly I never finished. But I have Lunar on the Sega CD, and then on the PlayStation, and I think I have the iPhone version, and PSP.
Wow.
And I don't think I've finished most of those.
You're a bad person.
True.
I think there's a couple of those, like PlayStation 3 collections that include
like God of
games
War.
that I owned but never finished. Like, because during the PS2 era was when I was getting a lot of games for free, basically. So like Ratchet and Clank. I didn't finish all the Ratchet and Clank games. So when the collection came out and played through them, it's like, okay, now I've finished those. But stuff like that. Jak and Daxter, same thing.
Yeah.
That's probably it, though. Maybe twice.
Mike, you don't buy
That's rare.
Yeah, that's not a thing that I do. When I quit, I'm committed to my quitting. So if I give up on a game, I won't revisit it and go back and play it.
Okay.
When I give up for good.
Committed.
Clean break.
Yep.
All right. Hackerali's Little Big Bot says, got a super cheap Vita. Any suggestions which games to get? Got a 3DS.
Doesn't
no
have any
PS3
games.
or 4. I'm not into sports. Love platforming, though. Thanks.
Well, it's a good thing you're not into sports because there are no good sports games on these portable consoles.
FIFA is pretty good.
Okay,
on
not
the
no
Vita.
good sports. Very few good sports.
Very
games
few.
on these portable consoles.
Mutant Blob's Attack is your number one, especially since you said you like platformers, and that's one of the best games on the
That's a
Vita.
good
So get that.
Guacamelee, probably, too.
Yeah, Guacamelee is
Guacamelee.
awesome. Definitely get that.
Tearaway.
Tearaway is awesome.
Yeah.
Experience Tearaway.
Definitely get that.
What else you got?
Oh, sorry.
Rogue Legacy.
Really?
Ollie Ollie is really good. TXK is really good.
TXK is cool. Muramasa Rebirth is pretty awesome, I think.
Yeah.
Remember, you have all those PS1 classics on there too.
Super Stardust is really good.
Yeah.
Stardust.
Yeah.
Gravity Rush, Wipeout, Uncharted,
You know, I gave up on Gravity Rush.
Rayman.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Didn't like
And
Gravity
of course,
Rush.
Little
though.
Big Planet too.
Oh, and Sound Shapes.
For a little,
Sound Shapes.
yeah, Sound Shapes is really good.
Hmm.
Agreed.
I think that's a lot of Vita games to get you
That
started.
is.
That's plenty.
Devi.
Especially for a system that has no games.
Yeah. Make sure you go download all the free ones if you're a PlayStation Plus subscriber.
Yes. And if you're not a PlayStation Plus subscriber, go get a PlayStation Plus account.
Be one.
But
yeah,
he
that
said
should
he
be your
doesn't-
first
He
expense.
doesn't. He does not have a PS3 or 4.
Okay, so now, but he has.
So what?
So what?
So would you suggest PS Plus to somebody who only has one
Yes.
platform?
Are you kidding?
Yes.
Every month there's
Alright.
like 2 or
Yes.
3 Vita games. It pays for itself in like 2 months.
I guess you're right. Oh, we didn't talk about Here's some news that happened last week.
Oh, breaking news. It's just in. It's just in from the
Yeah.
P1P news desk. Chris
PlayStation.
C.J. Johnston reporting.
That's right. PlayStation TV launches next month. I
Yep.
think on October 14th, and that will play Vita games on your television
Yep.
as well as
If you have the
Game
digital
Play.
versions.
Yes. No, you can plug a memory card in.
Really?
Yep. You can put carts in it.
Oh, I didn't know that. Ooh,
Yep.
Cards, yeah.
I did not know that.
Yes.
Yep.
And what else? So you know what? Let's rap about this for a while.
Word.
Because I really do not know what a PlayStation TV does. Obviously.
I think CJ just said what it does.
That's all it does?
What do you mean that's all it does?
Vita.
It does remote play from your PS4 as well? I didn't
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. And ostensibly PlayStation Now when that whole thing.
And I'm
Yeah.
assuming,
Thing.
will it play like PS1 classics and all
Yep.
that stuff as well?
Yep. Yep.
I am getting one just for the remote play aspect of it. Yeah, so my kids can play on the TV upstairs without having to put a PS4 up there. I think that is pretty awesome.
That is
cool.
pretty awesome. I agree.
Playing
Wholeheartedly.
video games on a TV is not bad.
Really?
Yeah, I think I would kind of like that.
Or even PSP games.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Especially for the purposes of,
All
like,
that
if you
stuff.
wanted to record footage of them as well.
And this thing's like $100, right? $99.
It's $99. They have a version of it that comes with a control pad for $139, I think, and it comes with the Lego Movie game.
Huh.
Really?
And I think if you
Maybe I'll
buy
do
it
that
at
one.
Walmart, you get both the Lego Movie game and some Sly Cooper game. I think Thieves in Time
Wow.
as well.
That's a good deal.
So
That
What
ain't
kind of
bad.
controller does it use? A DualShock 3 or a 4?
DualShock 3.
Okay.
But you can sync a DualShock 4 up to it as well.
Oh, you can? Okay.
I think.
Can you sync a Vita
think.
up as a controller too, like regular remote play?
I don't
That
think
would be
so.
Tell me,
Interesting.
CJ.
I don't know. I don't know these things. I'm
Anyway.
guessing not, but
Hmm.
you know,
It's kind of interesting.
it is.
I'm in for one.
You know what? If it would stream media, it would be ultimate.
It What do you
Does
mean? Stream media?
Will it
Like
stream-
Netflix
No, not
and Hulu.
Netflix. My movies.
Oh, well, that I don't know.
Like from your own library, is that what you're
Yeah.
talking about?
Like
Yeah.
what the Xbox One is supposed to do now, but doesn't.
Yeah.
Sweet. Well, maybe you can just say that the PlayStation TV is supposed to and doesn't, if that makes
Yeah,
you
it's not
feel
enough.
better.
Tell me on it.
Yeah. All right, let's do some more tweets.
Okay.
Hacker Alias Unpopular Gaming says, "Have any of you guys ever completed Comics Zone?
God,
I've kept
no.
at it
God.
over the years, and it still kicks my ass."
Yeah,
Same here.
that game's really fucking hard.
Every now and then I'll turn it on. It's like, I'm going to do it this time, and then after about 20 minutes, I'm done.
I wish it were easier, too, because it's really cool.
I know. I'd love to see the rest of that game.
Yeah. You play it for a couple hours and you, like, inch a little bit further every time, but there's just no way that
Yeah.
I'm ever getting to the end of that.
Mm.
I really like that game, too. It's a bummer.
I don't think I've ever played Comics Zone.
Shocking.
Oddly enough.
Really?
I don't think so. No.
You should look at Sonic's Ultimate Genesis collection,
That has it?
as promoted by Filthy About.
I
It
do
sure
have
does.
All right, well, then maybe I'll check it out.
Yeah.
Play it
Yeah.
on your PlayStation TV through your Vita.
Why would I want to do that?
I don't know.
Because
you're buying
PlayStation 3 right here.
Out of it.
Perfectly good. Yeah.
I like that you have the old school Sega CD behind you there.
Yeah, you like that?
That makes me smile.
So my
I wish
daughter
there
was
had been stickers
playing
on it.
in my office today, which is a bad thing. I need to
Yeah, you
start
shouldn't do
discouraging
that.
that because
Yeah.
she could break something. But she got her hand stuck in the Genesis cartridge slot. She's got
Oh
those
my
two-
god.
She's that kid.
And
She's
she
gonna,
just turned.
I'm
she
waiting for her
turned
to walk
me
by
and did
behind you
the-
wearing a helmet.
and did the slow cry. My hand.
I know the cry you're talking about.
I just sat back and laughed maniacally.
Yeah, that's nice.
You're lucky you live in a city that doesn't get cold enough that she can get her tongue stuck to the flagpole in January.
Wait, did that happen to you?
No, I've
Christmas
just seen it in
story.
films.
Oh, right.
Come on, man.
Good grief.
Wow. If Phil
All
was
right.
here, he would never let you live that down.
No, I meant.
Luckily, he doesn't listen to the show, so...
I knew you were referencing A Christmas Story. I wanted to know if that was a real thing that had happened to Mike.
Does
yes,
it get that cold in
Christmas
Utah?
Story was based on my life, my childhood. A little known fact about me.
Mike's the child actor that went on to be the porn star.
Yep.
That's right.
Who actually was the kid who stuck his tongue to the pole.
That's right.
Icky.
All right.
I don't like that at all.
He was practicing.
Oh, God.
Yikes. All right. Hacker alias
What?
RWebA says,
It's really late here.
Always online games have been kind of disappointing so far. What genre or series do you think would work well as always online?
Racing.
Well, good thing we have a couple of companies that are going to try that, right?
Well, there's iRacing.
The Crew.
Been trying it for a while now.
And, Forza Horizon 2.
I don't like games I can't pause.
Yeah.
Games I can't pause piss me off.
Yeah.
I also don't like games that if I don't play them right now, I'm going to miss out on the game.
Yeah, that's kind of that's shitty too.
My biggest pet peeve for always online games is like,
Yeah.
okay, I feel pressured. I have to buy it when it's new. I have to play it right away, because if I don't, I'm going to miss out on something. And then like if I, it's not something that I could find a year from now for $20 and get a good experience from a lot of the time. So.
Right.
Yeah, although at least a game like Forza Horizon 2 does that thing where they set up a rival for you that is at least close to your current score. So it's not as if, a year from now, all your friends list is no longer playing the game, and it sets you up as like the rival to get the number 1 score or anything like that, right? At least there's some kind of small value in that.
I guess. I mean, one of the things that I like about the way they handle the Drivatar thing, I don't know how much of it I believe and don't believe, as far as the AI being built around the behavior of real people, but I mean, I like being in races and seeing like Rich Grisham's tag over a car and actually racing him. Buying into the illusion, if nothing else, right? I mean, I'm not racing online, but I'm still somehow racing against these people and the way that they supposedly would race. So,
yeah,
it definitely, and yeah, I mean, that game's been out almost a year now, and I know that a lot of people aren't playing it anymore, but I still am, and I get that out of it. So yeah, that's true. I don't do the rival stuff anyway, but I do see what you're saying.
Yeah,
but yeah, it's more to do with like these massively multiplayer games. I just, like, even now, I'm playing Destiny. I've played Destiny probably a total of 3 times, and it's okay. I don't come across people who are the same level as me. Everyone's so powered now, and I'm not.
That's right.
And it's my fault because that's the rate that I'm playing at, but at the same time, it's like I feel pressured to be playing it more because I'm so far behind everybody now that, I don't know. I just don't like like that. I want to play the games at my own pace. I want to play them when I want to play them, not when it's new and I have to play it 24 hours a day. Like
with Destiny, you could, for instance, like get onto the tower and find someone who is around your level, which you can do, and
but
join.
I don't want to.
Well, why not?
It's too many hoops to jump through. I just want to press start and play.
Yeah.
And watch my ship fly through the sky while it loads.
Yeah, you don't want it to be like you start a game of Destiny, you're level 2, and you have friends who are like over level 20 and enjoying like the latter half of the game, and you feel like you're a pity project or something like that.
Mm-hmm. And the other thing with always online games that I've never liked is the grinding that goes with it. It seems inherent that you need to grind somehow for something, and I'm not into that at all. That's why I never really liked Phantasy Star Online.
It's like they have to create this very long path, both for the people who are going to play it, hours and hours a day, and also for the people who are going to casually play. I feel that's the balance Destiny tried to strike, and I don't think the people who are way into it like or appreciate that design, right? Like the way that the leveling system works from levels 1 to 20 is
traditional.
And I feel like it's paced very well so that when you're just starting, you feel like you're getting enough reward. And then at level 20, they make you gather loot with light elements to level up. Like they completely change how you do that, and that sounds like a ridiculous grind that I'm not going to be interested in once I get to that point. So
yeah, you're basing leveling up on random drops.
That's going to turn me off as a casual player of that game. That part is going to turn me off.
Yeah.
Probably. But I have not even finished the story yet in that.
Because you keep going back and playing the older missions with me.
Exactly. That's right. Right.
I love you, man.
It's actually kind of fun. I gotta say, it is fun going through the same levels. Anyway, Hacker Alias, Rich Grisham asks, you can only get one of the racing games this fall. Which one is it? I think I know your answer.
Forza Horizon 2.
Yeah.
Because I already know that I like it.
Yeah. Yeah, doesn't Drive Club come out in like a week or two at this point?
Oh yeah, I'm really excited for that too. But I haven't played a demo or beta or anything of that, so it's
Right.
all on faith that I know whether or not I like that, right?
Yeah, and then the Crew after that, right? At some point.
Yeah.
I am going to say Drive Club.
Yeah.
It's coming out on a platform I own,
Yeah.
which gives it a leg up.
Yeah.
It's a pretty important part of it.
And also, they're doing a version for PS Plus members, right? Still, so you'll be able to try it even if you don't want to plunk down the money for it.
Right. True.
So there you go. Yes, indeed. Let's see. We got a tweet about Wasteland 2, and did anyone playing that?
No.
No.
No. Let's see.
Read us the tweet, though, and we'll make some shit up.
Yeah.
All right.
Why not?
How are you from Hacker Alias Cursor TN? How are you finding Wasteland 2?
Online.
Love the story, animation, sound, etc. Pacing is a little slow. Mechanics are a bit too arcane.
I found it via that tweet.
I will tell you that I'm not playing it.
Yeah. I am also
Next one.
not playing it.
Man, these are easy. Keep going.
All right, Hacker Alias Jerkface Killer says, it's still a week away, but is anyone willing to buy Alien Isolation on launch before reviews are out? I think I will.
You know what?
No.
This pisses me off because I feel like I know what this is hinting at, and it's that, of course, Colonial Marines was bad.
Yeah.
Right.
But
Even
it's
though this is a
not the
different
same
developer.
development team.
Yeah.
Are we painting any now? So as long as it's Alien, as long as it's the Alien license, we have to paint it with that brush.
Yes.
No, I'm not down with that.
I don't think
I
that's
think it's
fair.
because the only good Alien game was the side-scrolling Genesis one.
Alien 3.
Alien 3?
I'll
Yeah.
give you that.
Yeah.
Love that game.
I actually like the Super Nintendo version of that game as well.
Yes, and it was completely different.
It was. I liked it too, though.
And the best part was they were both called Alien 3, and they were both so
Yes.
obviously based on aliens that it was just hilarious.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Best Aliens games, those.
Yes, I will give you that for sure.
For me, this is one of those situations almost like Shadow Mordor, where it's a licensed game, and with those it can be hit or miss, and why would I pre-order something that I'm not totally convinced on? Even if I'm not going to trust reviews, you can sort of get a sense, there emerges a collective feeling on a game, or if you find people whose opinions are generally the same as yours, be it professional reviewers or podcasters that have opinions on games, then
Any of those.
then to me, that's more important. But yeah, for Aliens or Shadows of Mordor, I'm gonna wait to hear.
Yeah.
Yeah, I pre-ordered both of them.
Yeah, but you got
Shadows
to
of
be.
Mordor
I mean, when
was not on my
CJ
list
started
at
the
all.
sentence with "Why would I pre-order something that ... My answer is, why would you pre-order something? Period. But since you got a good deal on them, I can see that. But otherwise, why would you pre-order something?
Yeah, but and the whole reason I was irritated about that is because this was harkening back to, I think it was a Polygon article. I want to say it was the Cooch. I don't know, but
It was.
It
whole
was.
made
Yeah,
this whole case for like buyer beware on
that's right.
the new
Stop
Aliens
buying
game.
games on launch day.
Yeah, but it's like it just is completely nonsensical,
Yeah.
It was the two games he called out.
and it was
were
unfair.
Alien Isolation, and then he did another one about Battlefield Hardline.
Yeah, it was unfair to
basically-
developers and the publishers.
The same reason in that the previous game left a bad taste. So
And you know what?
they're easy targets.
if it-
Easy targets.
If the dev team for Isolation was the same as Colonial Marines, I would agree with everything you said.
Right. But
You
it's
know.
not.
But it's not.
The publisher's the same, but that does not
Yeah.
mean anything. So,
But anyway, speaking of Polygon,
Oh God.
and this is to praise them.
I'm getting excited.
Really good
wait, this is to
article.
praise them.
Really good,
Less excited.
long form
I'm
feature
flagging.
yeah.
about the history of Lord of the Rings games this week.
Oh,
It was quite an enjoyable read. It was lengthy, but it went all the way back to the 80s. It had interviews with developers of the games from even back in the 80s and
Oh, wow.
insight into the whole licensing mess, where the book licenses and the movie licenses were actually two different things. If you remember this, CJ, how
I do.
Sierra
Yes.
was bringing out games based on the books the same time Peter Jackson's movies were coming out.
Yep.
Quite a good read, and made me sad that Polygon doesn't do more of that, because, as usual, when they do stuff like that,
This is probably one of their last ones like that, right?
they excel. It's really, really well done.
Yeah.
I actually really liked those PS2 era beat 'em up games that they did based on Lord of the Rings. And I don't like Lord of the Rings, but I liked those games.
Those games were really well done. Yeah.
So were you going to get Shadows of Mordor there, Mike?
I don't know. It's just one shadow, so that
It's just one shadow. Okay.
that limits my excitement a little bit. But
Did you check any of the reviews?
I have heard people talk about it for a long time, saying that it is surprisingly good. And
Extremely positive reviews.
Check the game trailers review. Not so much for what they say, but just because they
To see
describe
the footage.
gameplay
Oh.
really well,
Okay.
so you'll understand what you're watching. And I found it made it easier to figure out what the hell the game was about.
I was a little turned off when people compared it to the Batman games, because
Hmm.
I don't really.
Yeah, and
Get
they
too
made that
jazzed about
comparison
those.
too. Yeah, but it was
But it looks neat.
the fight system was the only thing they compared it to in the game trailers version.
Yeah,
So whether you
I
like
might check it out.
Yeah.
We'll see.
But anyway, just giving because we always crap on Polygon, but giving them a shout out. I forget who wrote the article, but it was quite good. I really enjoyed reading it.
Cool. Now let's shit on them for something.
Well, then there was the Great Forza Horizon 2 review.
Yeah.
There you go. Which basically was shit on because it was Forza Horizon 2 and not Forza Motorsport 6 or something. I don't know. It was a standard. Standard reviews where it's like they don't like it, but they can't tell you why they don't like it, and they can't tell you what they would have liked instead.
Reviews like that are so frustrating.
Yes.
Like, even if you're just reading it to find out more information about the game, like that really just tells you nothing.
And it made me even more frustrated because I had that review open on one tab and the great Lord of the Rings feature open on the other tab, and it's just like, God, this is what you can do, and this is what you do too much of.
Yeah.
But I didn't open up the Cooch's latest article, so that would have been...
How many simultaneous Polygon tabs do you typically have open?
That was the record. Right
Really?
there.
Okay.
Yeah. Normally it's 0.
I would imagine that the number of page views, which of course dictates content when you're working at a website, for Forza Horizon 2 or any of the Cooch's diatribes are probably exceed that of the page views for the Lord of the Rings retrospective.
Which is
so
why
you know what they're going to end up doing more of, right?
Right.
Sadly.
If you like Lord of the Rings, though, you should go check out that article because it's just extremely interesting. They went into depth on a lot of things that I wouldn't even have thought of, and there's some good interviews there. So, yeah.
Cool. Well, I think that's where we end this episode.
Before you do your outro, I just wanted to call out I am on the latest episode of the Box Fort podcast, which is fairly new. It's at www.theboxfort.net, and you can also find it on iTunes. We got to go on and, surprisingly enough, talk about the Genesis. But anyway, it's run by one of the guys who runs it is a big fan of the Player One podcast.
Is that Mr. Chief?
Mr. Chief. That's
All
right.
Yeah, I played some Destiny with him.
Yes, he's on Twitter at Mr. Chief, MISTURCHEEF. He can't spell, but he's a nice guy. And anyway, go check it out. It's a pretty cool little podcast.
All right.
Just wanted to get that in there before we did our outro.
Sounds good. Yeah. Hold on a second.
You're thinking about sticking your tongue to that pole again, weren't you?
Maybe. What of it? All right, and that's our show for this week. Thank you very much for listening. If you have any questions or perhaps a comment on what you just listened to, you can direct all of that to @P1Podcast on the Twitters, or you can go to our internet website at player1podcast.com. There you will find various things, maybe about Sega CD, maybe not. Generation 16 episodes will be released there, as well as generation-16.com, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, and we've got a message board where you can discuss this very episode with us and our other listeners.
If you would like to subscribe to the Player One Podcast, you can do so at player1podcast.com or through the iTunes Music Store. Also, in the iTunes Music Store, you will find the Player One Podcast app for the low, low price of $1.99, which will allow you to stream all of our episodes. And you can also find that on the Amazon App Store, excuse me, for your Android device for that same $1.99. I think that was everything. Follow us on Stitcher and other stuff.
Yeah.
Friendster,
Stitcher,
Facebook.
I don't know if there's a problem with their Twitter account, but they have been tweeting the fact that we put out episode 411 like almost every 6 hours. There's
Nothing wrong with that. I don't see that as a problem at all.
Yeah. It's kind of interesting. All right.
Hey, CJ.
Yeah?
Thanks for hosting this week.
Sure.
Mike?
Do you want me to talk about Genesis Aladdin?
No, I was not happy about your tweet at all.
So let me just
We're not getting
say
into
this
that.
real
We're
quick.
doing our outro.
Let me say this real
don't
quick
say
because Phil's
No.
not here and he can't elongate this outro. Yes, I will mention that that I played Aladdin because my daughter has recently become interested in the film Aladdin, the 1992, I think it was, film with Robin Williams as the genie.
Mm-hmm.
And so I thought, hey, I've got the Retron 5 hooked up to the ye old television, and I'll just load up Aladdin for it and see what she thinks. And she liked it, of course. She grabbed my Neo Geo Pocket Color and pretended to play Aladdin along with me, like you do when
Why
you're
are you letting
3
your
years
2-year-old use your Neo Geo Pocket Color?
Well, see, that's what we were talking about, keeping the toddler away from the office stuff. That's probably I probably should start doing that because she grabbed the Neo Geo Pocket Color off the shelf and started playing with it. So
okay,
it's a good looking system. The little clear, I got the clear blue system.
You're getting
Anyway,
off track here, yeah.
getting off track. So Genesis Aladdin, it's a platformer, right? And in platformers, generally you have this area of the screen where you move forward a certain amount, and the screen starts moving ahead. So you have time to react to the things that are off screen. And in the case of Genesis Aladdin, you can go almost to the edge of the screen if you are running, and it doesn't recenter the character. It just leaves you there on the right, far right of the screen, and which makes you vulnerable to enemies. And I was not cottoning to that design pillar. So there you go.
You sound like the guys who say Sonic wasn't good because they didn't know anything about the spin dash.
That's right.
Hey, Mike.
Yeah.
What I think I have to do, though,
Thanks for joining us, Mike.
what I think I have to do is go back and maybe I should play the Super Nintendo Aladdin.
You'll be reminded how terrible it is.
Now that I've got clear vision on how potentially terrible the Genesis version
I wouldn't
is.
go that far. Listen, before we finish up here, I also want to one more time plug the Extra Life campaign. It's less than 4 weeks from now that I will be playing video games for 24 hours straight in support of the IWK Health Center Foundation in Halifax. I'm currently sitting at $1,125.
Nice.
All right.
My $2,000 goal. So please, you've got 3 weeks left. Please come and donate what you can. Every cent goes to the IWK. Everything is tax deductible. And I have been doing a name a game incentive on there, where if you donate $25 or hopefully more, but at least $25, you get to pick a game from a collection of games I've put up on Google Docs, and pick an hour that I play it. And there are currently 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 hours left to choose from. So please, if you can, donate anything you can. It's for a great cause. I was talking to the philanthropy officer at the IWK Health Center Foundation recently, and there's actually an interview about this too, where he outlined some of the stuff that money is spent on, and also revealed that over $50,000 was raised last year through Extra Life Org for this particular hospital. So I would really love to help top that this year.
Cool.
Please, 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 give what you can. 3 weeks to go. 4 weeks to go, sorry. 3.5.
Absolutely.
That's it. That's all I got.
Also, in a couple of weeks, it'll be 8 years we've been doing this show, by the way.
Damn. Wow.
Just throwing that out there. Anyway. Yeah. I guess we'll do it again next week.
Wasted. Like a quarter of my life.
Maybe.
So
we do it again next week, though?
Yeah, let's do it.
Maybe. Yeah. All right.
Stupendous.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.